What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Inside Lines podcast. I'm your host, Atoya Burleson.
And I am Tia Averill.
Coming up a bit later in the show, we'll be chatting with actress and model Adrienne Thomas, as well as wife of San Francisco 49ers head strength and conditioning coach, Dustin Perry. We'll also be getting into our hot take this week, where we will be chatting about burnout. But first, Tia, what's going on?
Well, I need to be asking you what's going on, because you had a party on Friday night.
I did. We turned up. I had the craziest Friday. Like, I'm going to just start at the beginning. I started off, I had a photo shoot earlier that day. From that, I moved into my daughter Mia. I had to go straight to her volleyball game. Straight from her volleyball game to my boys' playoff football game. Straight from the football game, which they won, to our Halloween party that we have every year. It's a costume party for adults only. And we turn into kids. Girl, when I say I was exhausted, speaking of burnout, we'll talk about that. But I'm telling you, girl, I was tired, but I had so much fun. I drank and danced all night in my little costume. It was a blast.
Oh, what'd you go as?
So initially I was going to do this elaborate makeup and do this crazy costume, but because my boys' playoff game was moved to 7 p.m. that night, I could not do that. So I chose to go with safe measures, and I was Beyonce formation, Lemonade, when she's in the all black and she has the black hat with the black glasses, and she has all that jewelry on, the silver. It turned out perfect. And Nate, I told Nate I wasn't helping him with his costume because I didn't have time. So he was on his own. So he actually was pretty clever. He came up with a beekeeper costume. Beekeeper, like Beyonce, beekeeper. So that was actually pretty clever. Because I was not. I'm like, you on your own, bro. I was so like mentally just all over the place that I could not add not one more thing to my plate. But it was so fun. If y'all don't dress up in costumes as adults, y'all are missing out in life. I'm gonna just tell y'all that.
I think I'm missing out because, which we talk about this every year, we don't participate in Halloween festivities. So I just be admiring from afar. But I like how people go all out. So even you with your costume, like mimicking other celebrities and stuff, like that's my favorite part about the Halloween situation. What were some of the guests dressed as?
Oh my gosh, we had everything. We had someone dressed as chitlins and hot sauce, which was hilarious. We had...
Now that's creative.
That was super creative. And we had another girl, she had on a straight hospital gown with the oxygen mask, the blood flowing through the other thing going up into the IV. And then she had a sign on that says, "Sick of these hoes." And I thought that was genius.
See, I would have guessed like COVID patient or something along those lines.
Nah, it was so funny. And it was just so fun. I think that my favorite part is seeing these adults come in and you don't know what they're wearing and just cracking up at what they did. Just tapping into your creative side. Yeah. And just being a kid again. I think that we kind of forget that as adults. So it's fun to relive that.
Yeah. Did y'all have any Jeffrey Dahmer?
We did not, costumes? Thank God, because I probably would not have, that wouldn't have sat well with me. Those are the type of things I don't do on Halloween, let's be clear. I stay away from all that crazy, for sure.
That is so creepy.
So good times. Yeah. But nice. I'm glad that it's over. I'm definitely old now, because I slept for a long time, let me tell you.
Look, I don't know if it's like just the season, because now it's starting to be like dark when you wake up, dark when the kids get home from school. Like now in Seattle, it's raining. So it just makes it feel like such a long and, I don't know, dreary day, so to speak. We had weekend full of kids sports, fall sports wrapping up. Girl, fall sports wrapping up, winter sports starting. Okay. Xander's starting to find his little groove.
Aww.
So it was just
he's getting older. He's not a baby anymore.
He is.
I mean, he'll always be your baby, but I'm just saying he's getting older.
Yeah, girl. And let me tell you, he had a basketball game. And so Cliff told him, he was like, if you don't score at least 10 points, then you can't get on your iPad. He was joking with him. That baby took it serious, okay? When I say he shot about 30 shots. made 6 of like 30. Okay.
Hey, then that means he got his 10 points.
He got his points though.
He was not.
And
letting
then
that
he was like, okay, now I'll pass the ball.
Let me get my stats up first, then I'll pass the ball. He's smart. He's smart.
No. But,
all right. That's enough about that. Let's get into this week's hot take. It's time for this week's hot take. Tia, what we got?
This week in hot takes, we are talking burnout. Okay, so according to a Forbes article titled "Women Continuing to Face Alarmingly High Levels of Burnout and Stress in the New Normal of Work," the article states that 53% of women surveyed say their stress levels are higher than they were a year ago, and almost half feel burnt out. So my question to you, Atoya, is, do you feel a little burnt out?
Definitely. You know, I think especially, coming off of COVID when we had that nice long break, to thinking you're going to do things differently, to not easing back into it, but just being slammed right back into reality all over again. I think burnout happens a lot quicker now. I think our brains know different, but we don't do different. So we tap out quicker, and for me, I don't know if it's the athletic side of me, but I do push myself.
That's actually a good point.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it.
That's a good point.
We know different. Yeah. Like before we may have not known different, but now we do, but we're not doing anything about it. And I know me as an athlete, I kind of push myself to the brink until I just blow up or shut down, one or the other. And so, I think burnout is definitely higher across the board for me. And I think any of my girlfriends that I talk to, I pretty much hear the same. What about you, Tia?
No, I agree. And it's interesting that you said like we know better, but we aren't doing better. It kind of made me think about, how when you start deciding to like change up how you're eating and you're eating healthy stuff, like you're eating things that fuel your body, and then you go on a binge or weekend trip or whatever, and you don't eat so healthy.
Yep. How
like your body feels just so sluggish and stuff. It's like your body knows like, okay, now you know how to do this better and you're not, and I don't like it, I agree with you. This is like the same thing that's happening. You know what it is? I think in general, there's 2 things that I'm facing. One, I don't say no enough, right? Like it's like I feel like, okay, I got to do all these things to show up as this great wife or this great mom or this great friend, whatever. But in all actuality, I can't be great in all these things because I'm spreading myself so thin.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is sometimes I don't know realistically how much time it takes me to do stuff.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm like,
true.
okay, I'm gonna bang out this budget sheet, whatever. It should take me 30, 40 minutes. I should be done. Hour and a half later, I'm still looking at formulas and like, oh, something ain't right. Like we off. This is off $73. This is off $1,500. Like it just be taking me so much longer.
And even with appointments, you're like, oh, squeeze that in too. You like, now good and well you can't get from A to B that quick. Like it's always
exactly.
Why do we do it? Why?
Listen. So I'm like, when I was like, I'm thinking back, and mind you, Cliff has been great with when he sees that I'm overwhelmed. He's great at checking in. Like, what do you need help with? What do you want? Like, you don't feel like cooking? Let's order some food out. Like, don't even worry about that. Like, figure out your stuff,
Yeah.
But you still want to feel like you're carrying your weight and you're being there for your family, your friends, your, everything you got going on.
It's so true. I wonder how our guests feel. I wonder if they feel the same way. You think they're experiencing, not our guests and our listeners, are they experiencing burnout as well?
Yeah, for sure. But before we get to the guest part, what is a tip that you think could better serve other women in our shoes that could help address some of this burnout?
I think A, learning to say no. And I think B, if you second guess it, don't do it.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right? How many times would we be like,
that's a good one. Yeah.
And then you still put it in there like, no, just don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
No, that's good. Because you do almost turn into like a people pleaser sometimes, where you like, no, damn well, I didn't want to do that. Right. So why am I forcing it on my plate? That's good.
Like, why did I knew better. but I didn't do better.
I knew I didn't want to do this shit. No, I'm just playing.
Real talk. It's the truth. It's a real thing for women. I believe it.
Yeah, I think the number one tool I would say is really learn time management. And people say it, but whatever. But just like be realistic with how much time it takes you to do things, and then add a little more. Right. So if you think, I can, I can squeeze in a few loads of laundry, dang on well, you're going to be in there 45 minutes. Don't do it to yourself thinking it was 30, So just like be realistic with what you're capable of taking on and what you really want to take on. Like nobody want to be speed washing dishes or speed through a meeting that you really need to like really break down and dissect. So
I agree. It's so true. I'm going to put that mental note in my mind as well, because I do it all the time, Tia. All the time.
But y'all let us know too. Like, let us know, one, if you are feeling the same thing. Like, are you feeling burnt out, feeling overwhelmed, like you're taking on too much? And if so, what are you doing to correct that, right? Well, what are you doing? We came out of COVID with some tools and tips and the whole nine, but what are we doing now? To put some of what we learned into practice.
Yeah. Are y'all implementing? I'm gonna get better too. Y'all not alone if y'all not implementing, but we're going to get through this, okay?
Exactly.
Okay, that's it for this week's Hot Takes. Coming up next, our conversation with Adrienne Thomas. On the show today, we have a former Division I track and field athlete. She is married to the head strength and conditioning coach of the San Francisco 49ers, Dustin Perry. She is the mother of an adorable baby girl, and she is a model with her latest campaign with Brooks running shoes, as well as an actress. And you can watch her latest movie on Amazon Prime called Mistletoe Mix-Up. Adrienne Thomas, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I need a fog machine. I need to buy one of those. I am wonderful. Thank you, ladies, for having me.
We are so excited to have you. I want to talk about, so you were a track and field athlete. I need to know what you did, because I ran track in college. So this is near and dear to me. So I'd love to know more. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I ran for the University of Minnesota, Ski-U-Ma, go Gophers. And I did the 100, 200, 400, and then the long jump. And obviously all the corresponding relays. I'm 5'11", so, they really want to put me in that girls. 4. But I was fast enough to do the other one, so it was always kind of a battle, but yeah.
Okay, now I do have a question. So, how in high school they max you out at 4 events? It sounds like you had more than 4 events. So is that on the collegiate level, you're able to do a lot more?
No, so it's still 4 events. So every single meet was different, what we would prioritize. I always got thrown in that 400 and that 4x4. I was like, okay. So then the other 2 events would kind of switch and change based on maybe if I was close to a PR in one and not in another, or maybe if another girl who only did the 1 or the 2 was hurt, they would swap me in for the other relays type thing.
Or you needed those points. When you need those points, coach is going to put you in there.
Right.
The good old days. Okay, so tell me about what's your favorite moment in track and field in college?
It would probably be when we won the Big Ten championship. That was, oh God, I don't want to date myself. So people always try to clock my age, and I'm like, no, ma'am. That was when I was it was a freshman or a sophomore. I'm actually forgetting now. You think I would remember, but that was a huge thing. I have my championship ring, and it was just growing up trying to, be the best athlete that I could to be able to call myself that was just a huge accomplishment.
Do you still have your ring? Do you have it?
Of course. Yes, that's my champion. That's that's our equivalent of our Super Bowl ring. Yes, ma'am.
I was about to say she got to keep it. You got to keep it up in front of your husband. Look, don't forget.
Who are you telling?
Don't tell Nate, but I can't find mine. I still remind him that I won a conference championship, but I cannot find it. I'm going to find it, though. Don't y'all worry.
You have to.
Look, it needs to be stored right next to all of his accolades.
Maybe he took it. Who knows?
You know what? That do sound like he probably would do that and be like, she has no proof of this.
Right.
So I know that you are, like Atoya said, a model and an actress. Like, how did you get into modeling and acting?
Well, I'm not trying to get y'all canceled, so I always have to think carefully about what I want to say. I have very strong opinions on things, but
no, you can free. You can be open and free here.
There you go. As we know, the NCAA has now changed their rules, so current athletes can get outside deals, things like that. When I was an athlete, you couldn't even be a model or sign to anything because they would use that whole you're using our image to make money, which I'm like, okay. So even though it was something I always wanted to do, I couldn't do it in college. I got kind of a late start compared to most people. It's something I've always wanted to do. Like I said, I'm an only child who would sit in her room and sing into her hairbrush and do all that. So without being too flowery and long, I went into corporate first outside of college. Hated it.
What'd you study?
So I have one degree. I have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. I have a BA. It's called Sociology of Law, Criminology, and Deviance. And then I have a minor in Political Science. Went into corporate. Right out of college. My husband, I had met him on the tail end of college. We didn't start dating until I was done competing because he started his coaching career at U of M. So I got to make that clear. But he was really, he was the third assistant maybe. Grinding all the hours, really doing all that. So I went into corporate because I was making more money at that point. And to know my husband is to know how not only incredible he is at his job, but him as a person. He is just the hardest. Everybody loves him. I don't quite get it. I'm not like that. I have strong opinions on things, but he's just this nice Midwestern guy. So he climbed up the ranks pretty fast. And, once he was the second assistant, he was making enough money to support the both of us, and I was miserable. I would get sick before I would go into work every day. I hated it. And I was like, I want to model. I want to be an actress. I want to give it full time to my agents. And he said, you know what, babe, I can make enough money right now for the both of us to support you. I know you've always wanted to do this. So if it's what you really want to do, quit, make that jump, tell your agents you're available full time. I got us. If in a year you're not, booking consistently, then we can revisit. And so I joined. I told my agents, let's go. And I've never looked back. I'm really blessed in that aspect.
That's beautiful. I love that story. Mm-hmm. I like him too, okay?
That's what I'm saying. I can't relate. Everybody loves him because he's so nice. And I'm like, man, people have opinions on me.
Deflate him. Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit because I know you mentioned just the change on the collegiate level with the NIL deals. Like, what are your thoughts? I think I can, guess
Suss
what we're about to say here, but what are some of your thoughts with those changes?
I think it's wonderful. Look, I know the main argument for a while was, well, in exchange for being an athlete and, giving us rights to your image, things like that, we're essentially gifting you a degree. And while that is true to an extent, unless you're going to a private school, and I'm just speaking averages here, I can be totally off base, but you're talking 50 to maybe 60-ish thousand for 4 years. Okay, that's not, you divide that by 4, that's barely minimum wage. So I never really thought it was a fair trade. I think it's wonderful that athletes have the ability now to capitalize not only on their athletic skill set, but you might love the camera. You might be a great spokesperson. You're going to bring more eyes to your school and your program and set yourself up for more success if you're able to pursue that. So I think it's wonderful.
Most definitely. I agree. I lost some good deals too back in the day. I wish I could get back, especially that Nike one. I listen here. It makes me cringe. Mm-hmm. But what can you do? What can you do? Okay, let's talk about when you went. Let's rewind back. Okay, so I know you met your husband post-college. How did that happen?
Okay, all right. Hey, babe. Hi. I'm going to try to not say it a ton. But essentially, he came and started as a graduate assistant, as a GA at U of M when I was a sophomore. Look, my husband is a great butt, and I'm okay with saying that on a public platform. I say that everywhere, okay? Well, he was back squatting in these gray sweatpants, okay? On a platform, the track team and the football team, we used to kind of lift around the same time. So I remember asking one of my teammates, I was like, hey, who is the white boy with the really nice ass over there? Because he was young. He was young. And she was like, oh, that's Coach Perry. And girl, the second I heard Coach, I was like, nope.
Coach, yeah.
Nope. I was also dating someone else at that point. I wasn't interested, but I'm like, I'm not even looking. I don't want the smoke. Great.
Yes.
I guess these are his words, I guess I was always his dream girl type. So he knew me before I knew him. Yes. And so once I had graduated, he slid into my Facebook DMs. Again, I feel like I'm aging myself. Like Facebook. He slid in and pulled
just
the whole...
leave it at DMs.
Right. I don't even have Facebook anymore. He pulls the whole, hey, I haven't seen you around in a while. Just all this, you're going back and forth, keeping it real light. And he goes... I'm trying to learn and get better at my drills, my A skips, my B skips, to teach to my players. You're a track athlete. You guys do that well. Would you mind training me after work and showing me? Okay. And I don't know. He caught me in a moment. Yeah, where I just wasn't thinking. I'm like, oh, sure. So we would get together and train at night. And we were just friends at that point. I was also dating a different person at that time. And I can't remember, we'd been doing this for a couple of months, and that guy and I broke up. And I came to work out with him one night, and it just happened to slip out or whatever. Yeah, I'm single now. Baby, you are? You're single? Are you okay? Do you need someone to talk to? Because I'm here. And I'm like, I think this guy likes me.
He said, I want to be a rebound.
He sure did. He was just waiting in the wings, and it just took off from there. So, yeah, that's the story.
Listen, not only is he helpful, but he is patient. He waited. He didn't say anything, but
he was planting seeds.
Listen, he was like, as soon as the opportunity is available, I'm pouncing.
Yes, and period. He pounced. Okay. But it worked out. It's been really cool because we've been together since he was a GA. I mean, essentially an intern. Yeah. So that's been a cool growth story.
To see it. Yeah. Okay. So you guys are obviously dating. Your career is taking off. Like, I'm assuming you started booking more consistently, right?
Yeah.
So how were you able to manage that? Because you have like your career going here, you're working there. And then of course he is grinding it out for his career. How were you all able to manage that?
Well, the beautiful thing about especially doing acting and commercial work is you're not on set 24/7. So on the commercial side, you're getting bookings, sometimes multi-day bookings, but you might be out of town for a day or two or three and you come back. And then otherwise, I'm at home. I'm a lady who lunches, and I'm a big fan of it. So that was the really nice thing is, he's working these 15, 16-hour days sometimes, really putting in the work. Mm-hmm. And I'm able to support him. I'm able to be at all the games for the most part, unless I'm working, support the home, everything else, manage his life too. So it actually works out our two careers. They're synergistic in that way.
Yeah. Okay, I need to know, because you're an athlete, so you have that competitive edge. When you watch games, what type of energy do you bring?
All right, the politically correct coach's wife answer, I'm gonna give you two, is go team, we got this. I'm very enmeshed in the game. The real answer is it's too stressful for me. Okay. So I'm bopping around. I use it. I'm a networker. I'm a woo, woo, woo. I'm usually, I'm the mimosa queen, self-proclaimed. Mm-hmm. It's not up for debate. It's just the truth. The way and the light, that is me. So I'm usually 5 or 6 mimosas deep, having a great time. looking in and out at the game because it's too stressful otherwise. And you guys get it. We don't have the luxury of being able to watch it. And if we
Just
lose, it's
it.
like, oh, shoot. We lose or something happens. You know, I don't want to watch that. So I'm in and out to protect my mental.
Yeah. Hold on. Complete sidebar. Complete sidebar. Do you know Katia Sue?
No.
Her husband is Ndamukong Suh, played in the NFL. She also was a collegiate athlete. But you two, like, you remind me so much of her. Like, I feel like I'm like talking to Katia right now, right, Atoya?
I hope that's a good thing.
No, Katia is amazing.
Awesome.
She's amazing. But just like energy and
very like all personality. It's cute. It's super cute.
Oh, awesome! Thank you.
I can see that for sure. So, okay, so you're like 4 or 5 mimosas in and you just kind of just let the game do what it does. You don't stress about it.
I can't because if I'm, I was pregnant last year and that was interesting having to actually sit and watch games all the way through. It's very stressful. I don't like it.
You're like, I can't have my mimosas. Orange juice is not doing it.
Right. So again, I am watching the game and things like that. But like I said, you guys can attest. It's stressful for us because we can't just walk away and livelihoods and things can be put on the line. So I don't need that stress. Like I said, I'm in and out. I do what I can.
Now, do you hang out with coaches' wives? Are you like, how is that? Because you're young. Like, you're a young coach's wife. When we were in it back in the day, in our day, we don't want to age ourselves either. But when we were in it, why coaches' wives were older, but they're getting younger and younger. Do you feel like there's more of that, or do you feel like it's still they're older? Like, what's your take?
Yeah, no, I'm a woman of the people. So I hang out with everyone. I've never, and maybe you guys can attest to this, and I am always interested to hear from the players' wives' perspective. But there was a little bit of that of like coaches' wives hang with coaches' wives and players will say significant others hang with significant others. I've never understood that. I hang with who I like. We're all on the same team. If your husband does his job, my husband wins. If my husband does his job, your husband wins. So I hang out with just about everyone. I'm not a big fan of cliques in the slightest or kind of categorizing yourself into whatever. We're all on the same team. So again, woman of the people, I'm out here everywhere. Security loves me. I'm the one that's with security hopping around, just everybody.
That's so important too. It really is when you think about it, because I feel like there was a divide back in our day, and it could be because the coaches' wives were older, but also, I think that now that the younger coaches' wives are coming on, they can bounce between the two. There is that ability to connect, which is awesome.
Right.
Yeah. It just has to be that understanding, right? So like when you are hanging out with your girlfriends, like, there's a code, right? Like what we talk about together, we don't hear it elsewhere, right? And I think when I was here in Seattle, the player wives or significant others hung out with the coaches' significant others. Like it was a normal thing or whatever. But in Detroit, to Toya's point, it was not. But I also know that Cliff, when we were in Detroit, he was like, no front office people. We not double dating with front office people. We not, our kids not hang out, because his whole thing was, what if I'm experiencing something at home, you go vent, and now my boss knows, and this could put me in a tight situation. But as he got older and kind of got into a space where he knew that, everybody understand what type of situation we're in, then like I said, I hung out with the coaches' wives.
Absolutely.
But it was definitely like, don't come back to bite me.
And that is a really good point. And I just call that home training and common sense, which apparently a lot of people don't have. But yeah, if I'm around a bunch of players' wives or whoever, I'm not going to be sitting here talking about the ins and outs on the coaching side and vice versa.
Right.
You keep it real light.
Exactly.
It's knowing your audience. So yeah, that's never been a problem for me. And yeah, it's just knowing who you're with.
Okay, so again, you are an actress. So kind of tell us what you would consider like your most favorite project.
Well, actually, and this is going to sound so bad, especially if you're not involved in the industry at all, you're going to be like, okay. But I have one coming out, and it's actually the first movie that I am the lead in. I am the star. And I'm so excited, but I can't tell you the name or anything because we are in active talks with the distributor. I saw the trailer yesterday.
Okay.
I know I want to, you guys, I want to so bad. I want to.
That is awesome. Congratulations.
Yes, and it should be coming out, barring any unforeseen incidents next year. I would say, I don't know why it wouldn't be out first quarter. Like I said, I saw the trailer yesterday. People are pursuing it. That was really cool. The people that I work with on that, I've worked with them on a couple of films, and it was just, once you're kind of in that universe with them, they trust you. And so they actually gave me my first opportunity to kind of headline a major movie. And I was just so grateful and blessed with that opportunity, and just to see it coming to fruition like I saw yesterday. I can't wait to share it with you guys when I can. It was just such a wonderful experience to be a part of.
We'll have to circle back. You have to let us know so we can definitely put it out there. That would be so cool.
Yes.
Later on to say, okay, you guys remember this episode? It's out.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
I'm not lying.
Yeah. I swear it's true. It's true. We believe you. We trust you. Okay, so you've had a lot of first. You've had you've done all these amazing things in such a small period of time of, being a collegiate athlete to pursuing modeling to pursuing acting to marrying your post-college love of your life to now being a mama. Whoa, mind blowing that you've done so much in such a small time. Listen, first of all, I'm going to applaud you because that's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
And second of all, talk about that. Because, I know you're in the prime of acting and like you said, you kind of travel. How is that being a mom and doing all these different things and trying to balance it all, or if it is balanced?
Oh, where do I even start? So my daughter's name is Rio. At the time of this, filming, she's 11 months old. She'll be a year on November 15th. And, it has been the biggest challenge. I am so blessed in that I am financially able and comfortable and able to do things because a lot of times, I'm working out of state and things like that. So she's been flying with me since she was 3 or 4 months. She just comes with me and I have help on set. Oh, okay. They take her. But it's a lot. It's a lot. And essentially, I know on the player side, there's a time commitment, but the coach's side is a little bit more in terms of your every single day. Again, my husband works about 14 to 15 hours a day. And so there is no help. It's really all me. Right. So that has been the biggest challenge. Woo!
Yeah.
But, again, I'm really blessed to be able to have the help that I need when I need it.
So even when you come back home, you still have people that will help out, if you need a break, because obviously you have to have someone, right? How would you get a break?
So I usually it's just me. I'm going to be honest with you. My mom lives out of state and his family lives out of state. So it's me. I would say 95% of the time, I don't really get a break. But they do fly in on occasion and help out and watch her and come to games and things like that. I think being an athlete in particular has prepared me for a lot of things in life, but multitasking, I think we were talking about that earlier, Tia, just being able to go, I need to prioritize A, B, and C, and one of those is keeping my daughter alive. So, you get tired and it's I don't have the luxury of getting tired because he's at work still and it's 5:30 p.m. She needs a bottle and she's crying, and then I have 2 auditions to get in. So you just do it. I wish I had a better answer. You just do it.
You said though, when you're on set, you have help. How do you find that help? Do the production, do they help you with that type of childcare, or how does it work?
Nope. Family. So I've been really lucky, especially when I'm working in major markets like Chicago and things. His family, he's from Michigan. So his mom will actually come down. They're about 2.5 hours from Chicago. So she'll actually come down and stay and watch Rio if I'm working in those markets. If I'm working on the other coast or things like that, I'll usually fly my mom with me or someone and just be like, hey, or fly her here to California and leave and be like, okay, you got Rio for the next 2 or 3 days. I'll be back. I got to go. So it's been all family pretty much so far.
Like the first time you had to leave her in California and then,
So bad.
Go work. Like, how was that? Were you nervous?
Oh, go.
And I'm asking this because before we started
I know,
recording,
I already know
she was
she
like,
is.
yeah, no, she'll be fine. Yeah. But she seems like she's not like the typical first time parent. Like she's much more relaxed, it sounds like.
And I've gotten that. I'm a common sense parent and person. I'm a military kid. My parents were both Army. They met in the Army. My whole family's military except for me, because I can't get yelled at like that. I can't take that. That wouldn't work for me. Real talk. It's real talk though. So, I'm one of those people where it's like a good example. She has to get her shots, whatever, when we go in for her appointment in 2 or 3 weeks. Does it hurt to see your kid cry when they get their shots? Sure, I'm not a monster, but I don't really react. She gets it and I'm like, you're good, because I know it's for her own good. Where I hear a lot of moms are just, it doesn't break me down. I'm like, you're going to be all right in 10 minutes. I'm a very kind of common sense, laid back mom. I have to be. Or otherwise I think I would go nuts, really.
It's true. I think about you and I see a lot of myself like back in the day, and you talk about being like a multitasker and like this athlete, and you have this mentality to go, go, go. Do you ever hit those points of burnout? I experienced this, Tia knows, a few days ago where I was just like, I can't go no more. Like, this is it. Like, I'm tapping out. I've done too much. Like, we push ourselves to the extreme.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I've been that way since I was little. I was always in 3 sports at one time. I was in music. I was at all my, I've always been that way. Just today's Thursday, last week, I got admitted to the hospital for the first time with a kidney stone, which was awful, by the way. But I had just put Rio down for the night, and I'm rolling on the floor. I'm trying not to scream. I'm like, "Rrr." And I call Dustin, and he's like, well, I'm about to walk into a meeting with, Kyle Shanahan. And I was like, finish your meeting and then come home, and I'm going to drive myself to the ER. Like, I got it. I'm just one of those people that I'm going to make it work, even if I have to. So it's a mindset, I guess.
It is so, I know it's good, but it's bad sometimes. It's like, I don't know. It's just that thing that you appreciate that mentality as an athlete, but also sometimes you're like, this is to the detriment of me. Like, this is not good sometimes.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Okay, so now that you are in the business and you have a daughter, right? So seeing the business, the roller coaster that is Hollywood and the entertainment industry, how would you feel if she got into the industry as well?
Well, she's already in the industry. She is signed with my agent. She's already a working model. Okay, she's booked 3 or 4 big campaigns already. Her first year of life, she has a bank account, a trust fund with her own money in it. As far as being young,
that's
right? As far as being young, I don't care. It's very strict. She can only work for 30 minutes at a time. It's so cute, and she's got her little work permit, and she just plays around. When she gets older, I'm not a fan of, and again, me being a more laid back person, I'm not really interested in mapping out my daughter's life. And because I went to University of Minnesota, you do. Because I ran track, you do. I don't like that. So I'm blessed to be able to expose her to it. I'm going to expose her to it. And I'm not a stage mom. Look, I don't need your money, so you're not going to smart off to me. And you ain't going to be going into rooms with anybody if I'm not there.
Yeah.
So I'll expose her to it. And the absolute second she says, Mama, I don't want to do this. I'm not happy. I want to play with my friends. Then you're out. Go play with your friends. So
that's really good. Okay, yeah. I need to hear about a moment where you maybe fanned out as an actress, like something, and you saw someone and you're like, ah! Like, did you ever have that moment?
Okay, maybe not. I had a moment where I was like, ooh, I can't believe I'm seeing you in person. I'm not a big fan of you.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
wait, can you say who it is?
I could say it. He doesn't know who I am, but essentially, this was, I don't know how many years ago, but y'all, I loved Mel Gibson growing up. Okay, I did. And Mel Gibson was cute.
Yeah.
Okay, Mel Gibson was okay. And then y'all know everything he said and did in the public. And my friend was an investor in Cavalia, if I'm saying it right. It was that horse show that was in LA. This was a couple years ago. And so it was the big opening event. I think we were out in Camarillo. And he strolls in. And first of all, he's very short. Now, I get it. I'm 5'11", and what I've noticed, every man in Hollywood is 5'8", point blank. Period.
Or shorter.
And I don't understand it. I'm like, okay. So I was blown away by how short he was, but I just saw him and was like, ew. And if my friend wasn't an investor, I would have walked up and said something. But I'm like, yeah, I have some home training. Not much, but I have some.
A little bit.
A little bit. I'm really blessed to just obviously, and you guys get this with my husband's job, there are celebrities on the field and the sideline all the time.
Especially for the 49ers.
Right, being in California. So I can't say no one's coming to mind yet where I've really just fangirled out. Celebrities are normal people to me. I think having self-confidence in yourself, like I like me and I think I'm relatively cool. So I don't place celebrities on that high of a pedestal where I'm like, wow, they're just so much better or different from me. If that makes any sense, I meet them. Great to meet you. Saw your latest project picture. Hey, and I keep it moving,
Because you got to get the picture.
Well, it didn't happen. Okay.
Prove it.
Right.
What is something that you wish people, or if like now that you have a platform, that you want people to know about you that they may not know?
Wow, that's a really good question. I would say that I'm a nice person. And let me expand on this because you're like, well, duh. At least I hope so. The biggest misconception that I get, and this is from people, because I realize what I'm about to say could come off as conceited, and that is not my intent, nor is it what I think about myself. But this is what I've been told from multiple people is, oh, you walked into the room and you might look the way you do or dress the way you do or whatever. And I was really intimidated. And I kind of thought you were mean or you were a little, like, And then I get this all the time. But then I talk to you and you're so nice. And I'm like, well, yeah. I would say we're surrounded by beautiful people in my industry, in my husband's industry. And I know that it's natural and normal, especially as women, to, we're put in competition with each other so much. To feel, maybe a little intimidated or jealous. I hate that. Envious, things like that. I look at all of these women, and I'm talking about just the 49ers specifically. I look at every single one of these women, and they have so much going for themselves, be it financially, be it through their charities, be it through just their talents in general. And I would really encourage people to step into their power and their truth about that and know that whatever room you walk into, if you are feeling that way about them, they're probably feeling that way about you. So, step into your power, know you bad, okay, and here's why. And come from that place. Don't try to project the things that may have happened to you or you might think on someone, because you're going to get that a lot. Oh, you're actually really nice. Else. Yeah.
You know what? You are spot on. That is like exactly why I thought of doing this, because I got all the time like, oh my gosh, you're so different than I thought you were. Like, oh, I thought you were going to be like this on TV. Oh my gosh. Right. Like now that I talk to you, like, I wasn't sure if you were going to talk to me. And, you hear all these things and you're just like, where are all these misconceptions coming from, So that is spot on.
Internal reflections.
So true.
Yeah.
So true. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. What would you say your career has taught you about yourself?
Resilience. Look, here's one thing I'll clue you in on. I'm a very confident person. I don't like to put my problems or my issues or anything on other people. I was raised and I believe that my problems are not your problems. because you have your own problems. So even if something has happened to me at home and you stiff upper lip, you get out and you lead with love and happiness. But there are an awful lot of times where I get this close to the part and I get this close and I'm at the meeting and and I don't get it. And even as someone who has been doing it as long as I have and is confident, living in the world of no and rejection will take its toll on anyone. And so there are times where you and the world might not see it, but my husband sees it, and he sees me when I'm at home and I cry or I doubt myself. Why am I doing this? I'm not good enough. All those things. So I would say resilience. It has really taught me you got to keep going, because I it's so cliche and I hate that.
Yeah.
But so many times I'm like, I'm done. Deuces.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, met this producer. Week later, that happened. No, but kind of. And then I'm like, you know what? That's all right. And my husband's like, I got to go to work. You know, so I'm like, this is what you signed on for.
He's like, we here again.
Yes.
The yo-yo.
So I would say the resilience is the biggest thing.
What's the...
You know, you say that's cliche, but it is something that people need a constant reminder of.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to give up, right? And to your point, it's so easy to doubt yourself. But to find that courage to like, okay, actually, I'm gonna try one more time.
Yeah.
And maybe this time it'll hit.
Yes.
Like, people need more of that.
What would you say is the best advice you've ever received?
Life advice or career advice? Or both?
Whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both. Let's go with both.
Both. So I know for career advice, and this was fairly recent. And it's going to sound like duh, but you know, when you're in the actor's mind, again, you're living in the world of what do people think of me? Am I good enough? Did I do that? Blah, blah, blah. Was learning to love and enjoy the process of auditioning. But deeper than that, when you get that audition, there's a casting office in Chicago specifically that really likes me. They cast for a lot of big major things, and I keep getting called in by them. And I was like, I'm getting to the end, but I'm not booking it. Like, I must suck. So that's where that's where the majority we come from.
Your mind.
And my friend was like, no, Adrienne. They keep calling you in, which means they like what they're seeing. You may not just be fitting that role, but they like you. If they didn't like what they were seeing, they wouldn't keep calling you in. Again, a simple thing, right? But it was such a flip in my mental state and how I approached it. And she was like, when you get that audition and it's already been nailed down, you're on set. For the 10 to 20 minutes you're on film or Zoom or however, you got the job. You're working. So approach it like that. And let me tell you, it has completely changed my approach. I no longer get that pit sometimes when I get auditions. I'm not going to get this. It's fun. It's fun. So career-wise, that's been huge. And like I said, that was recent. Life-wise... You're not that special. Let me expand upon that, because it's like, oh, God. I think a lot of people, they think their worldview, their experience, everything is the be-all, end-all of everything. You didn't experience what I did. You don't get it. Forget you. Things like that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, your mama loves you. Your daddy love you. If you have siblings, maybe they do. But that's about it. Everybody else has that. And you are no more important or special than anybody else. So
good.
You know, I was like, I need to expand upon that. Don't make that the little thing, because it'd be like, oh God. But it's I'm
gonna do it so we can reel them in.
There you go. I'm all for it. Actually, a good clickbait.
quick.
But you know what I mean? Just realizing, that again, your problems or your successes or your anything are unique to you, and vice versa. So you are no important or no more special than anyone else. Figure it out.
Good. I love that. That's really good. All right, we're going to play a game with you. You ready?
Ooh, I'm ready.
Okay, so this game is called the 2-minute drill, and we're just going to rattle some questions. It'll be like this or that, or it'll be something you have to fill in the blank. All right.
Okay.
2 minutes on the board. You ready?
Ready.
San Francisco or LA?
LA.
Name 2 teams that share a home field.
Chargers, Rams, and oh my gosh, don't kill me. Giants, Jets.
Good. Who won last year's Super Bowl?
I don't want to answer that because we were supposed to be there. The Rams did, and I'm just a hater. I'm a self-proclaimed hater. I really am.
NFC West, baby.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Modeling or acting?
Acting.
How many points for a field goal?
Oh, 3.
Got it?
Oh God.
What's your biggest insecurity?
Well, physically, I have no boobs. I am a definite sternum. That's all you hear. So
That can be fixed. That can be fixed.
Right. I would say physically, my boobs. Anything else emotionally, fear of failure.
Good one. What's your favorite meal?
Well, I don't get it a lot here because we're in the South Bay, so there are 3 black people here, me being one of them. But any type of soul food, I got to go to Oakland, so anytime my mac and cheese, my potato salad.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm so glad
Yes.
Thanksgiving's almost here. Let's go.
and let's go, okay? And I get after it.
Right?
Yes.
And I'm
I
coming
started
back.
grocery shopping.
Okay, itis is coming. Beware, y'all. The itis is coming.
If you could do anything right now, what would it be?
Anything. Well, definitely take a nap. I don't get enough sleep. But outside of that, travel. I really want to go to Turks and Caicos. I really do.
You'll love it.
Yeah, it's on my list.
You'll love it. Okay, I need to know, who's your favorite actor or actress?
Actress Viola Davis. I know it's kind of like the standard, but my God, she's phenomenal.
Oh,
She's phenomenal.
She is.
I mean, amazing
She is.
personified. You know who I really love as an actor, and I feel like he kind of blew up, and maybe he's Sterling K. Brown. Yes.
Yes.
I mean that
Agreed.
man.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes, I need more of that in my life. So those 2.
Yes. I'm so sad This Is Us is over. That one took me out.
Yeah.
Okay, happiest mistake you've ever made.
Happiest. Oh. Boy, that's a good one. I might not be able to just rattle that off. I might have to actually circle back on that one.
Think about it.
Yeah. I don't consider.
Okay,
that a
well, we can
mistake.
circle back to it.
Yeah. Let me think about that.
We kind of know this next one, but you can. We don't have to say the same thing. What's next for Adrienne?
I mean, it's kind of the same old, same old. You know, it's just one foot in front of the other. I am in pre-production on a project right now, potentially, and anyone who knows that can get axed or moved at any point in time. You know how pre-production goes. So kind of, just one foot in front of the other. My daughter's slowly getting older, so that's getting easier. And just supporting my husband. You know, we're kind of in the thick of our season right now, so. Whew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, okay, if people want to get a hold of you, where do they find you?
Yes. So I have a Twitter, but I don't tweet. I got Adrienne Thomas on Twitter, and I was blown away. I was like, really? It's private. It's locked. I just have it for brand continuity. But really easy on Instagram at
Just so you have it.
Adrienne Thomas. That might be
Easy
dating
breezy.
me again, because I remember when I signed up for that, and I was like, that's available? Like, am I the 5th person to join Instagram? Good Lord. But yeah, really easy. Just at Adrienne Thomas. And IG is where I'm the most active.
I'll be
my
sure to put
gosh.
links to
Thank you.
where they can find
I
you
could
in the
sit and
show
talk to her
notes.
forever. Seriously, thank you so much.
Oh,
Adrienne, for
if I didn't
coming
have to pick
on.
up my daughter and be a semi-decent mom, yes, I would sit here and BS for. I would go make a mimosa, and I would show the world how to do it properly. 3 drops of orange juice. That's it. And we can just talk.
All right, we're gonna come kick it with you in San Francisco and have some mimosas.
Yes, please.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes.
Wow, that was such a fun conversation with Adrienne. She is a ball of energy.
Yes, she is. Like I told y'all, she really reminds me of Katia. But you know what I really enjoy? I really like that Dustin, her husband, when, of course, he knew that she had this passion for modeling and acting, that he was like, okay, I'm going to take care of home. You go pursue that full time. And like, look where it is now. Like, it's something to say about men supporting their women in their pursuits of their passions and things of that nature. I really enjoy that.
It's so true. And shout out to her for even, having a baby and still out there. She's making sure her baby goes with her, or if she needs a sitter, she needs a sitter. She does everything that she needs to get it done. So I know that's not easy, but you can tell that they're a great team, and I'm glad that she shared all that she has going on with us. So that was a fun time.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's our show. For the latest on the Inside Lines podcast, make sure to follow us at Inside Lines Podcast on both Instagram and Facebook.
You can also listen online and share your favorite episode at InsideLinesPodcast.com and leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/InsideLines.
Until then, leave it all out on the field. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.